Hi, I'm joined by Romnal Colas, and Romnal is the national coordinator for a process called Umoja. Romnal, tell us what is Umoja?
I'm happy to be here and to share about Umoja. And Umoja is a process. We call it church and community mobilizing process. Generally, Umoja is a way to envision the church to be able to work in the community. For too many times, people in the churches, they don't understand really what we call integral mission. They just take one part of the mission, which is pray God, have all spiritual activities, and they don't really think about the social aspect. They just see the personal relation with God, and they don't see the people around, they don't see the neighborhood. So Umoja helped the church to have a vision for the community. Even though you pray God, you are a good worshiper, but if you don't have a look around you, you don't see your neighbor, you don't see your community, you miss one part of your mission. So that basically what Umoja helps the church to understand. The church has a mission for the community. So how the church can impact the community around. That's globally what Umoja is. And the word means togetherness. The words mean how can we put our resources together. As we are identifying the needs, how we are identifying the issues, the problems around us, but how God provided resources to meet all these needs. So Umoja empowered the local church to do that, to serve the community.
Great. So Umoja is a process of engaging church with community and mobilizing the church for the community. And this is something that's been done in many countries of the world. And maybe it takes, between 2 to 4 years? Something like that?
Umoja has been doing in different countries in Africa, and in Haiti we have been starting Umoja since 2 years. And when we started that process, like I said earlier, it is a process with 5 stages, and each stage, depending on the size of the community, how the people approach it, how the people understand it, it might take 2 to 3 years to go from stage 1 to stage 2. But between time, you can see some significant change in the mindset of people. I can give you some example. When I first started Umoja in Haiti in 2011, some pastors, some church leaders, they did not understand that. They say, okay, you have a new Bible study methodology. It's okay, we understand that, but where can we go with that process? They thought an NGO or an institution should come and identify problems and fix them. When I started Umoja, they were not really open to it. Now, after 1 year and almost 5 months, the leaders, the church leaders, the church goers too, they become to understand, Umoja helped them to identify their resources. Umoja helped them to better understand the calling of God, because God has called everyone to have compassion, neither for these people in the church, but also for others outside the church. So it takes time to let the people go through the process, to understand there is a change that needs to be done, and how they can be part in that process. So you can start the program somewhere and the people don't see themselves into the process really. So when you take time to conduct the Bible studies, to conduct all the activities, they become to understand, we should be part of it. It is like a bus. We have an exercise called the mini bus exercise. When the people become to see, I am not outside the bus. I should be inside the bus, and if I am inside the bus, every problems, every threat, every difficulties, I have my contribution to do it. So I should be involved in everything to make the change happen in that community. So like I said, it requires sometimes to go through the process from stage 1 to stage 5. I can clarify later about this.
Great. So Umoja is helping Haitian churches to become maybe less dependent on outside aid, as it were,
Sure.
and to see the gifts that you have within a church and see the need in the community around.
Sure.
And to see how the church can serve the community and involve the community in part of the church. Do you have any examples? I mean, this is a pilot. You're still in the pilot process. You just did the training last week of stage 3 of 5. But do you see any kind of evidence of change amongst churches yet? And maybe you can share one example of that.
Sure. When I first started the approach here, we started with the stage called mobilizing or envisioning the church. In that stage, we have 11 Bible studies and different other interactive activities. And after that stage, in that church particularly, the people become to understand we need to identify the needs in that church. And they conducted a search to identify the widow, the elderly people, and the children without orphan or people or children in difficulty, social and economical difficulty. So they conduct a search about it. I didn't know that. I didn't know how many children we had in that church and what their condition is, how many widows we had in that church. And the people become to understand that this is it was important to do that search. And after doing that search, they started a program to visit the widow and the elderly people. So to me, it's a big change in the people behavior, because before that, everyone just talked about his own problems, his own difficulty, and now they become to have a larger view of the community around. That one's example. The second one is one other church in some place called Bertin. We started that program. At the end of the first stage, they realized they need to start some community income generative activity. And they have a yard in the back side of the church, and they start a banana plantation there. So they put the banana, and after a certain time, they have banana available in the church. They also started some income generative activity like doing some cakes, doing jelly, and some peanut butter. So they took some initiative between the church members, and they put the money together, they put the time and the energy, the skills together, and they start some good initiative. A last example that really touched me in a church called Moisson Mondiale in French. That church was collapsed after the recent earthquake in 2010, and the people became discouraged. They didn't have enough energy to start building the church. And after some Bible studies, the pastor said, now you have, as church member, you have to identify what is our priority in the church. And the people say, our priority is to rebuild that church. Pastor said, so we don't have any resources for that. We don't have money. We don't have blocks. We don't have anything to do so. People say, in this community, we have enough resources to start. And you know, the people, they go down the hill, they come with stone, with work, and they bring work from the colline to the top hill where the church is, and they put some piles of stone together. They also take water and some furniture they needed to start the construction of the church. Now the construction doesn't finish yet, but at least they have this passion to rebuild the church by themselves. They don't ask for any support from NGOs or from other partners. So they realize they have to do it by themselves. And they have this energy to do it. And I hope they will do it. So that's some sample to explain the people have a new mindset. Because the story back there is we have a story of dependency here.
Yes.
We have been supported by outside people for many times.
Yes.
And in some churches or in some community, people become dependent. They think if they have any problems, any difficulty, they have to wait for someone from outside to fix the problem. That's what we have in terms of story. And the recent earthquake came to increase that mindset in the people's life, because many gifts came after the earthquake.
Yes.
And it was good because we were in an emergency situation.
Yes.
But here, 2 years after that, some people still think they need someone else to fix their problem. So with that approach called Umoja, they become to understand, we have our responsibility. We have to take us in charge. We have to change our destiny. Even though someone can come and help, can go alongside of us, but we need to do our part, because the largest part is ours. So we need to do something. So I think that's a blessing to have that approach here, because some progress have been done in some other countries, and in Haiti, I'm confident in 1 or 2 years we will see more tangible change in the people life, in the communities, because now we are in stage 3, and people in the church start working with the communities.
Yes.
So this mixture between the church and the community, that will give a sense of community work. The people will be more involved in community life.
Yes.
And the change will not only inside the church, but it will be for the whole community. And when you are looking at that area, you can see some vulnerability,
Yes.
the evidence of vulnerability in that community. But if the people here come together, they say, hey, what our condition is and what can we do to change that?
Yes.
And church and community work together to do it, I'm confident that will happen.
Great. I'll ask you one more question in a moment. That's about what are the needs of Umoja, and how can a church in England, like Above Bar Church, support you in that. But before that, I just want to say that I'm very excited about Umoja for at least 5 reasons. Firstly, it supports the local church, and the local church is the hope of the world. Secondly, Umoja doesn't just support one church, but equips many churches. So a church like Above Bar can help equip and enable many churches in their mission. Thirdly, Umoja is a process which has been used in many different countries in the world, and is a proven to give fruitfulness to the church. So it's something that we can have confidence in. Fourthly, it brings a marriage between gospel proclamation and social action, social responsibility, and those two go together. The gospel is 2 wings of a bird, as it were, proclaiming the good news and living, being, sharing the good news in holistic ways, integral mission. And then fifthly, Umoja helps break this dependency culture, as we've already said, because the church takes ownership for their own community and can bring hope from the gifts and abilities that God has given to them as a church community. Romnal, finally, how can we be involved? How can we support you? What are some of the needs that you have that we could possibly do? I have some ideas, and I'll probably add those, but you could start.
One key thing, according to Umoja, is what we call relationship. Because Umoja helps churches to develop relationship. While we are developing good relationship inside the church with the community, but also we need to develop relationship with the others. So if a church comes, the first thing we would like to have is a good relationship with that church. We can share prayer requests. We can share some skills, some experience. Okay, we can share some. Okay, so I think it's one thing really important in the process, because the facilitators need to learn from others, to learn some outside experiences. So to me, that's helpful. A second thing I think really important is when we are doing the Bible studies or the meeting generally, the people sometimes they need some technical assistance to do that. For example, we are going to stage 3 right now. It is about dreaming dreams and planning for action with the community. the people need some skills to do that. Some skills in accountability, some skills in how to define indicators, how to draw a community map, doing stories. So they need some skills. So if a church or a partner or someone can help in reinforce the skills in that, okay, that would be good. We also need sometimes some material or furniture to do some Bible study, some activity with the community. Okay, sometimes we need to buy some material, so we need those things. So a support, technical support, yes, technical assistance, and sometimes material assistance. Okay, so to me that's the previous thing we will need. And at a certain time, when we start doing some tangible project, they will take some action in that community. Sure, they will identify the resources. They will put the resources, financial resources together, human resources together. Sure, they will put all that together. Sometimes they will need some extra resources to accomplish the project they have. It might be some human resources to do some specific tasks they might not have the ability to do, the skills to do. Sometimes they might need some financial support to finish some project. Sometimes they might need some information or some document to fulfill some project. So when we start the relationship, all these things can be clarified later, yeah, because it's a process and it is not really depending on a pastor or the facilitator. It depends really on how the community and the church see their needs and the resources they need to accomplish the goal they have. So to me, a good relationship, that one thing really important, and day by day we can identify technical resources, material resources, financial resources we might need to have a melting pot, a global response for that community.
Great. I think there's a lot of excitement there, a lot of potential, and I really pray that maybe Abba will be able to help in some way, whether that's by prayer, whether that's by sending some people to help do some of this project management, sure, and budgeting and evaluating budgeting, or whether that's financially contributing to some of the materials or helping towards fund some of the coordinators, sure, who are training the facilitators and the people in the churches. There's lots of possibilities, but yes, thank you so much for this time, and may God
You're
bless
welcome,
you.
and thank you also. Great. May God bless you.